Ray Fiennes helps the choral hit the high notes in this drama written by Alan Bennett. Set in 1916, the fictional Yorkshire town of Ramsden has lost their choir master to join the war effort, so they hire Fiennes' Henry Guthrie, who has recently returned from living in Germany, and ruffles feathers as a result. But trying to stage Elgar's dream of Gerontius, chosen to avoid a German composer, proves a challenge when the town is missing so many of its young men. This is helmed by theatre director Nicholas Heitner, whose last several films have been Alan Bennett adaptations, namely The History Boys and The Lady in the Van, although this is actually an original screenplay by Bennett. I do have to admit that I'm a bit mixed on Bennett's work myself, and I'm still scarred by the infamous film version of Alleluia and its shockingly awful twist. As expected, Fiennes is excellent as Guthrie, who has a clear passion for music, but his atheism and fondness for Germany has made him persona non grata. There's an amusing running gag where he keeps being chastised for occasionally speaking in German. But there's a certain tragedy that he went to Germany for the arts, but has been forced back by the war in the increased hostility as a result. There's also the fact that Guthrie is a closeted gay man, a recurring theme in Bennett's work, and he searches for news of the fate of his German lover regularly, and he's only able to speak about this to also closeted pianist Robert Ames, who announces that he wants to be a conscientious objector and whose potential imprisonment threatens the performance. Fiennes' acting is very delicately layered and nuanced, with occasional flashes of barely suppressed anger, and he's the closest thing to a central figure in what is, fittingly for a film about a choir, a big ensemble piece, even if it gets a bit overwhelmed by subplots. Where the choral most succeeds is as a poignant tribute to a lost generation, and that absence is felt everywhere, and the film focuses on a group of young men about to be conscripted who are so young they've barely experienced life. Bennett's signature humour is still here, but this is a bittersweet film at a time where people still believe the First World War will be over quickly, but the grim realisation at its true cost is emerging. Guthrie stages Gerontius as a war tribute, something which they have to hide from Simon Russell Beale's Elgar, who pops up near the end and uses injured soldiers in the choir, including Jacob Dudman as one who returns having lost an arm to find his lover has moved on. Recognisable faces like Roger Allen, Mark Addy and Alan Armstrong also have their own plots, many of them knocking on the door of sex worker Lindsay Marshall. That lack of focus diminishes the film's emotional impact, especially as the last section drags past a point where it really should have ended, but it has moments where it finds its voice.